What's going on, people? It's your man the YB back once again. Big shout out to the boss man Riyad Abbas coming through and boosting up the coin. So we got some breaking news right now. The weigh-ins are in. This card for me is probably one of the best cards, not of all time, but certainly in recent history. A banging card, A1 1010 fire card, no doubt about it. This card here got the nitties going mad on the street, you best believe it. Anyway, so let's go through the weigh-ins to start off with. Anthony Joshua weighs in £251. Otto Wallin weighs in £238. Now, there's not much really to be said here. What I will say is AJ came in a lot leaner for the Usyk fights. He came in 240. This 250 business actually, it's been a minute really since AJ came in. This, £10 is 5 kilos. It's not a marginal amount of weight. What's that, 5% of your body weight? Either way, is it going to matter? Listen, AJ had no gas tank at 240. He had no gas tank at 255, so it is what it is. I'm not going to read too much into that. Moving on, Wilder's weighed in versus, this is crazy actually, this one here. Wilder's weighed in £213. Now, this really, people could say, is prime Deontay Wilder weight. Why? Well, Wilder, after the second Fury fight, believed he had to bulk up. He came in a career heaviest, I believe 230 plus. Bulked up, and that's for a man who's lean. Yeah, when Wilder adds weight, when Wilder came in there 230 plus against Fury in the third fight, that wasn't Andy Ruiz special. This was a bone dry, skinny hood strength 20 pounds. That's 10. Do you know how hard it is to add 10 kilos of lean muscle, people? Seriously. Most bodybuilders can jump on a big cycle and not add 10 kilos of lean mass. So whatever Wilder was doing, he put the muscle on. Unfortunately, Wilder's never been known to gas. He gas heavy. He ended up with his hands by his ankles like a zombie. Fury zombified dude. So he's come in really at Wilder's prime weight. In fact, this is actually on the lower side. I think Wilder's lowest was the second or third fight against Fury. He came in 210. So this is really towards the lower end of the range. However, what Wilder's shown is, did Wilder add power from being heavy? I don't think he did. If anything, Wilder's power comes from his speed and his accuracy. Speed, KILLS's. Yeah? So 213, he's going to be snapping. That right hand going to be pinging. And Parker has come in a career standard 245. Nothing special there. But I expect Wilder to be pinging for sure. I've got Wilder. As far as predictions go, which is the point of this video, let's wrap up the main event here. So AJ and Wallin. I've got AJ on points. Any upset will be Wallin on points. Do I see AJ knocking Wallin out? I don't, unfortunately, people. I don't. AJ was making a right meal of it in there with Robert Bumlenius. And Bumlenius had 2 days notice, and Bumlenius isn't as dynamic as Wallin. That said, Wallin hasn't really been at the top level since he fought Fury. So it's one of them. I think AJ gets it done on points, but it's a stinker of a performance. Bear in mind, AJ fought Jermaine Franklin. That was a stinker. So, I mean, the only thing I'd bet on here is it being a stinker. Whoever wins, it'll be a stinker. If Wallin wins, it'll be a stinker. If AJ wins, it'll be a stinker. Wilder and Parker. I've got Wilder. Parker's fallen off, people. He's slower. I mean, what? Parker was renowned for having quick hands. I haven't really seen so much of them. That said, can Parker's quick hands give Wilder trouble? Yeah, quick hands, Wilder can't deal with pressure. Joe Parker need to come in there like he did against Hughie Fury. Watch that fight. Watch Joe Parker versus Hughie Fury. Hughie Fury made Joe Parker look like Mike Tyson. He was in there bobbing, weaving, getting at it. That's how Parker has a chance in this fight. But even that, to be quite frank, even if Parker came in bobbing and weaving, trying to imitate 1985 Catskills Mike Tyson, I'd still have Wilder stepping back and whoop, and you'll see Parker. I see Parker on this one, toes curled, and like, go back and watch John Fury. Watch John Fury versus the Black Skellington. Watch John Fury versus Ross Gerber. Yeah? If you listen carefully, you hear John on the floor as he's convulsing. He starts murmuring kind of thing. Yeah? He starts making noises from the other side. That's what they call it, the other side. His soul's basically communicating. Do you understand? For the last time. Yeah. That's kind of murmur. That's what we can really call it. Really. Anyway, that's what I see for Parker. I see Parker's toes curled. I see Parker murmuring. And that's really about it. I don't see him having any success. Because, yeah, Luis Ortiz is old, but, I mean, Joe Joyce, very consistent, great cardio, but he mollywopped Parker. Yeah? And yes, Wilder doesn't have the kind of the relentlessness and the pressure and the jab that Joe Joyce has, but he doesn't need to. He has a party trick. So, I see Wilder. In fact, I ain't gonna lie to you. I'm gonna put my hands in the air now. I'll put some coin down. So, it's looking like Wilder's about to lose, truth be known. I've got Wilder KO. I think the odds are like, you put a tenner on, you get 13 quid back. So, the odds aren't, well, it depends. Define great. I say the odds aren't great, but I think you're getting smoked. So, I've got a tenner on Wilder. Sorry. I've got some money on Wilder to get the KO, and the second bet I'm taking is this main event here. Or this for me is really the main event. AJ and Wallin. I find that laughable that is the head of the card. Why? Wallin isn't as big a name as Parker. I think Wilder and Wallin, Wilder and Parker should have really been the main event, but we know AJ's got a special relationship with the Saudi Donnies. Wink, wink. Especially one of them special ones. We know AJ he'd been flown in. He'd been getting flown in for the special one with the Prince. For a one-on-one with the Prince, shall we say. So that's why he's headed the card. Yeah? Anywho, this is the main event, people, I'm afraid to say. This is the main event. Daniel Dubois versus Jarrell Juicy Miller. I can't lie to you, this is incredible here. I've never seen anything like this. Daniel Dubois weighed in 239, which is pretty standard / on the low side for Dubois. Jarrell Miller weighs in 333 pounds. Wow, people. Don't forget, most of us consider, and correctly so, that Tyson Fury at 275 or Francis Ngannou Ngannou at 270 odd like a heavyweight division above, right? Most people say, the standard heavyweights today who are at 250 like AJ, that's historically massive. Really heavyweights were 220 to 230 tops. I think Ali was 215. Lennox was knocking around, I think, 245, but he was an anomaly, right? So we've gone from 215 being standard, 220. Then it went to kind of 230, 240. Then it went to 250, 255 with Vlad and Vitaly and AJ. Then it went to 275 with Ngannou and Fury. And now, we got Jarrell Miller weighing in 333 pounds. A £100 weight differential. If this was weight classes, people, Jarrell Miller would literally be 5 or 6 weight classes bigger than Daniel Dubois. It's more or less a 50% difference. You have to add 50% almost onto 239 to get to 330. Well, you don't, it's 40%, but either way, you have to add 40%. Jarrell Miller is 40% more of a man. There's 40% more of Jarrell Miller than there is Dubois. And I'm not being funny, but it's not like it's not like Duquit has the best head on his shoulders. So Dubois has a 40% less weight advantage and don't have a head. Yeah? So what is Dubois bringing to the table? He's not bringing size. He's not bringing heart or head. He toast, in my opinion. Yeah? Jarrell Miller to win this fight is at 2-1. That's where the value is in this event, people. I've put an ACCA on, my ACCA. Wilder to KO Parker and Jarrell Miller to beat Dubois. I also like Jarrell Miller to knock out Dubois as well. Stoppage. Not knock him out. Jarrell has quite a few TKOs. He doesn't have one punch though. And we don't know, the fight's in Saudi though. The fight's in Saudi. And I'm not sure it's even really sanctioned. Meaning, Jarrell and them Saudi dons, they have the best juice as well. Anyone who's into bodybuilding, you know the best gyms are in Dubai, Saudi, all that area, the UAE. It's full of, they get the dank over there, the 1010. They have the 1010 juice out there. They have all the new upgrades, all the genetic upgrades, all the gene engineering, all the CRISPR. They have that over there. Yeah, it's completely unregulated. You just go there and get the A1 1010 every time. You know that packet can land as well. You know the 1010 be landing. That Kinahan's out there. So 100%. If I knew Jarrell Miller was juiced, I'd go even bigger. I've only put some minor coin on there just to be a bit interested, but I've got Jarrell Miller smoking Dubois. I can see stoppage. I can see points. The risk is, yeah, Jarrell's bigger, but we know fights aren't always to do with size. But I think it's size at some point, it's like a train. Or you're a bit like, the risk here is, yeah, for people who are backing Jarrell Miller at 2-1, the risk here is that Jarrell's too stiff and too slow, and Dubois can get off, which is actually probably pretty realistic. It's pretty realistic Dubois is going to get off. Now, Jarrell Miller's defense isn't leaky, though. He can put his hands up, and he's pretty, not slick, but he knows his way around the ring. So, Dubois is relatively slow himself. So that big 1-2 thing, I mean, anyone fighting Dubois knows what to do. Get ready for the 1-2. Get ready for the 1-2 uppercut kind of thing. Get ready for the 1-2-3. All them kind of standard. Dubois is not the most creative, is he? He's not Ben, what's the guy's name? Ben 75. He's not Ben Whittaker. So, pretty generic stuff. That said, generic typically works, right? Big stiff shots from a big stiff quitter. Daniel to quit. That's what he does. He does exactly what it says on the tin. The difference is here, Jarrell might be stiff, a little bit stiff. But the weight, when you're carrying that much weight, your ability to absorb shots is just different. Naturally almost. As we know with weight classes. Yeah? Canelo can hit someone at 160 or 168 and it puts the fear of God into them. Canelo hits someone at 175, all of a sudden they're looking at him like no problem. And that's just 1 or 2 weight classes here. Jarrell Miller's 4 or 5 weight classes above Dubois. And he's not shabby. Jarrell Miller isn't sloppy. Jarrell Miller knows his way around the ring. So add that in there. He's got 100 pounds in weight. Plus he's not naive and stupid. Plus he's probably juiced. Plus Dubois loves to quit. That's the thing here. Jarrell Miller, if I was him, I'd go in there. Not to survive, but make yourself known within the first 4 rounds. You don't want Dubois to be too confident in the first few rounds. But get in there, feel the power a bit, politic. After 4 rounds, then start going to work. The worst of Dubois is over within 4 rounds. Then start going to work, and it won't take long. A few rounds of work in Dubois when he's tired, he'll be quitting. I genuinely, if I could bet on Dubois quitting, I would. What will happen is, I mean, Dubois didn't quit last time because he got beat up. He quit because he tired and he didn't want to get knocked out. Well, guess what? If Jarrell Miller can negotiate and politic the first 4 rounds, what happens when Jarrell is, and that's what he's known for. Jarrell's known as, I can take a few shots and I'm going to start pressing you. I'm putting, literally, Jarrell's punch stats, 80, 90, 100 punches around. And again, Dubois is not scared of power. He's scared of pressure and he's scared of getting stopped. And he's scared of taking any punch. It wasn't a massive shot that knocked out Dubois. It was a little jab. Oh, took a knee. So what happens when Jarrell in front of him, potentially, putting 80, 90 shots on him around? And them 80, 90 shots, they're not hard, but again, neither's were Usyk. What they are is draining, overwhelming. You don't know where it's coming from. And yeah, Jarrell isn't the quickest, but because he's throwing so many punches, that almost, what's the word? When someone's not punch for punch quick, but they have relative volume, it makes it feel like it's quick. Oh, this guy hit me everywhere. Do you know what I'm saying? When you're getting punched, or when someone's throwing 100 punches around, and it's not like Dubois is the most nimble himself. When someone's throwing 100 punches around, it feels like they're everywhere. Oh, this guy everywhere. And it won't take much of that. Yeah? Throw in the fact that Dubois is getting a bit tired now in round 6. Throw in the fact that he's got shots coming from everywhere and it's not stopping. It won't take many of them rounds. It won't take many rounds of Dubois being tired and Dubois taking 100 punches around for him to start looking for his knee. And I genuinely, if I was training Dubois for this fight, I'd send him out there with knee pads on. Why? Because it's inevitable. Yeah? My concern for Dubois would be, let's make sure, am I concerned Dubois is going to get knocked spark out? No. I'm concerned Dubois is going to get abrasions on his knee. I see Dubois taking a knee a few times. Why? Because Jarrell won't knock him spark out. What Jarrell will do is press him. Dubois will want to quit and take a knee. He'll get up. He'll get pressed some more. He'll take a knee. He'll get up. He'll get pressed some more. He'll take a knee. So the real risk here to Dubois' health is knee damage. Abrasions. Abrasive damage to the knees. That's what I see here. So please, anyone in Dubois' corner, please kit him out with some, what do they call them? Some kind of like tradesman knee pads. Yeah? Dubois needs tradesman bricklayers, they lay a lot of bricks, right? And they're out in the cold and they're always on their knees. 100%. So Dubois need to get some of them tradesman knee pads. Also, Dubois needs to speak to Ebony Bridges. Why? So he can get some knowledge and kind of get the technique down. How do I get onto my knees successfulully? Ebony Bridges know all about that. 100%. She's down on her knees. I ain't watched no content, but I assume so. Any of these ONLYFANS's things, any of these OF things, yeah, they know how to get on their knees. They stay on their knees. So Dubois needs to get his bricklaying knee pads on and get the pattern from Ebony Bridges. Ebony, how do I get on my knees so well like you be doing? She'll tell you, she'll put you on 100%. So that's my advice to Dubois. Put the call into Ebony and make sure your knee game on point because you're gonna need it 100%. Yeah, you're gonna listen. By the time I end of this fight, we'll all be able to conclude Dubois, he been on his knees. He been getting on his knees. Yeah, like I said, Dubois, he put Ebony Bridges out of a job here. Yeah, people are going to watch this fight, Dubois versus Jerome Miller, and say, damn, why am I signed up to Ebony Bridges OnlyFans when I can see this big burly 240-pound looking ass Nick on his knees? Oops. Anyway, interesting times, interesting fight card. Let me know your thoughts. Smash the like button, subscribe, and Muay Thai the bell. No doubt about it, 100%.